Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about right now is something that is going to affect every single one of us with what's in our pantries, okay? And also what's in our freezers. So please pay attention, okay? There is a whistleblower that is sounding the alarm on major food production plants that are in Minnesota that have brought in Somalians who did something really nasty. Okay, they have went potty everywhere, and this food is being distributed all over the United States and in Canada. So here is a list of all the major food processing plants that are in Minnesota. And if you want to write these down, please go ahead. Okay, so you can check your pantries and your freezers. Hormel Foods, Austin plant in Austin, Minnesota. Quality Pork Processors, Austin, Minnesota. JBS Pork Processing Plant, Worthington, Minnesota. Jenny O Turkey Store Plant, Wilmore, Minnesota. Jenny O Turkey Store Plant, Faribault, Minnesota. Jenny O Turkey Store Plant, Melrose, Minnesota. Jenny O Turkey Store Plant, Montevideo, Minnesota. Jenny O Turkey Store Plant, Pelican Rapids, Minnesota. Schwann's Company Frozen Food Plant, Marshall, Minnesota. Faribault Foods Canning Plant, Faribault, Minnesota. CHS Soybean Processing Plant, Fairmount, Minnesota. CHS Oilseed and Soy Refining Plant, Mankato, Minnesota. Cargill Turkey and Cooked Meats Plant, Albert Lea, Minnesota. Cargill Protein Processing Plant, Monticello, Minnesota. Cargill Protein Processing Plant in Big Lake, Minnesota. Land O'Lakes Dairy Food Plant, Melrose, Minnesota. General Mills Cereal Ingredient Plant, Fridley, Minnesota. General Mills Frozen Waffle Plant, Chanhassen, Minnesota. General Mills Manufacturing Plant, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Kemp's, and that's with a K, Dairy Plant, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Kemp's Dairy Ice Cream Plant, St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Pilgrim's Pride Golden Plump Poultry Plant, Cold Spring, Minnesota. Pepsi Beverages Bottling Plant, Burnsville, Minnesota. And Reyes, Reyes, Coca-Cola Bottling Plant, Eagan, Minnesota.
I've seen that my former home state of Minnesota is currently in the news due to Trump and the Somalian issue. I worked at a major food production facility that supplies the United States and Canada with food. I watched as they brought Somalians in, and they began to urinate and defecate wherever they pleased within this food production facility plant. We had to put up signs explaining how to use the bathroom correctly, but yet it was never corrected. I seen as grown men wash their genitals within the sinks, made homemade bidets from the garbage in the break rooms, and then brought in a roach infestation to the plant. Once again, I will tell you this is a major food production facility and cannot shut down for anything. I did, however, have it shut down once for a lockdown due to one of them returning to the food processing facility with a knife. It's a real problem, and it's a major reason why I left Minnesota. I just want everyone to know that I hold no ill towards these people. It's not their fault. They come from somewhere that has a private problem and is ran by tribes. There's no rule of law. How do you expect them to integrate within modern society is beyond me. I do, however, blame the state of Minnesota. I watched as they brought these people in with the sole purpose of driving down the wage. They want to make wage slaves. People ask themselves, how is it that someone could work this job? How else will we get people to work here? unless we bring in immigrants. You're holding them hostage. You are bringing these people in and holding them hostage. They are nothing more than a modern slave. I've seen it myself. As these poor people come into this country and are treated so horribly in these jobs, or are forced to integrate into something that they don't understand, on the sole fact that they're trying to feed their family back home. It's a terrible thing. And it is truly sad to watch. As I said, I hold no ill will towards these people, and I understand why they did come to this country. I completely get it. I would also want to try to leave Somalia, or Mexico, or wherever else these people come from. But when they get here and are forced to do the slave labor of the entitled and rich, who watch their lawn get pampered by them, or their food made by them, or even driven around by these people, it's wrong, and we all know it. And it's time to stand up and do something right about it. Is that sending everyone back? I honestly don't know. But we need to do something. It's a sad situation that the United States has put itself in and has allowed to happen. With the rise of inflation, the problems will only get worse. Right now is the time to try to act either by raising the wages and allowing these people to integrate into society, or by sending them back. There's no in between. I don't know what else to say. I seen a country growing up that was rich, and I felt like I always had hope. Currently, I don't. This is larger than a Somalian issue, and larger than what I've seen in food production. This is a true problem for America.
So, what is the core claim here? The man in the video, who says that he used to work at an unnamed major food production facility in Minnesota that supplies the US and Canada, alleges that Somali immigrant workers were hired en masse to keep wages low. And he claims that they went potty wherever they pleased in the plant, despite the signs that were posted to explain bathroom use. They washed their private areas in sinks and made DIY bidets from break room trash. They brought in roach infestation and once triggered in a full lockdown when one returned to work with a knife. He lists the 25 big name Minnesota food plants that he says employs a lot of the immigrants and refugees, implying that the contaminated food from his plant and maybe others is getting distributed nationwide. Now, what is his take? He says that he feels bad for the workers. He blames the state Minnesota governor for importing them without proper integration and training, calling it modern slavery, to exploit desperate people for cheap labor. And he left Minnesota because of it and wants something done. Higher wages or deportation, no middle ground, pretty much. So it's raw and frustrating, not hateful towards the individuals. He's just angry and upset at the system. So this is blowing up really fast. Okay, hundreds of reposts on social media and shares every single day, most echoing the outrage, but it's purely anecdotal. One guy's story, no names of the plants, no dates, no corroborating evidence like photos or documents. I did my research. I dug into news archives, reports on Minnesota food plants and Somali worker issues there. Minnesota does have a huge Somali community, okay, 80,000 plus people. It's the largest in the United States. And many work in the meat and dairy processing due to labor shortages. There have been real cultural clashes reported over the years, like demands for prayer breaks, halal concerns, hygiene misunderstandings in high stress environments, but nothing has gone mainstream about widespread defecation, urination, roaches, knives, things like that. What is the closest thing that I found? Old stories from the 2010s on worker strikes over conditions, or the massive 250 million plus dollars in Feeding Our Future fraud scandal, which was a Somali linked nonprofits stealing kid meal funds. But that's welfare fraud, not plant sanitation. I could not find anything on the FDA inspections or lawsuits or whistleblower filings matching this exact story yet. But this story, as of right now, is only hours old. If it is true, it's going to be a huge health violation. USDA, FDA would shut down those plants immediately, but zero official buzz so far. The bottom line here is that this video and the post itself is authentic and hitting a nerve. People are freaking out about food safety and immigration, and rightfully so, but please treat these allegations as unverified for right now. It could be legit whistleblowing. It could be exaggerated venting. I don't know right now. But this is straight up nasty, even if it's half true. The idea of people going potty on the production floor in a food plant is the stuff of nightmares, especially when you're talking about places that process meat and dairy that ends up in every grocery store in the country. Even if it's just one rogue facility, that's one too many. The part that makes it believable, unfortunately, is how fast these plants have leaned on refugee and immigrant labor to fill brutal, low wage jobs that Americans won't take. When you drop hundreds of people from totally different cultural backgrounds into a high speed factory setting, with minimal training and language barriers, yeah, stuff goes sideways real quick. It doesn't excuse what is happening, but it does explain how you get to that level of chaos. Now, either the guy that made this video is telling the raw truth here, and we're about to see a massive food safety scandal, or he is exaggerating really bad, and it's still a symptom of the same broken system. But either way, it's gross and it's infuriating. Now, I'm not saying throw everything out, okay? Because no one is about to yeet their entire fridge, freezer, and pantry over one viral rant. That would be instant hunger mode, and we're not doing survivalist chick today, okay? Not going there. Because at the end of the day, food in the US gets contaminated in a million different ways. Listeria, salmonella, metal shards, you name it. And we still eat it because the system mostly catches the big stuff before it kills us, okay? If this guy's story is 100% legit and ongoing, the odds of you personally getting a tainted can of Spam are tiny, but the ick factor is now permanently installed in the back of my brain, which I'm sure it's in the back of yours now too. So yeah, keep eating. Don't throw anything out. Maybe just side eye the Hormel a little bit harder and cook everything like you're trying to kill a zombie virus. But I'm going to circle back if the FDA actually drops a recall or the dude in the video names the plant. Deal? All right. I will see you guys in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less and God bless. Ciao.